There's a lot of people you come across you would like to throw rocks at. For example, yesterday, I was, you know where Barnes and Nobles? Yeah. Barnes and Noble is?
Yes.
A lot of people say Nobles. Barnes and Nobles. I was hanging out there drinking a little fucking vegetable drink after working out, sitting under an umbrella, people watching, checking my Twitter, just kind of hanging out, texting people, just enjoying myself, just me, just hanging out before I go back home, right? And all of a sudden, you know that rainstorm that came in, those thunderstorms? Horrible rain here in New York for about, 15, 20 minutes, no big deal. I'm under this huge umbrella. Nice. Starts pouring. I have a perfect spot. Everyone's getting soaked, running like lunatics for cover, and I'm under this umbrella just enjoying a nice summer rain. This fucking douchebag, and I did get it on video, and then I had to delete the video because I'm like, people are going to think, well, they already think I'm insane, but they're going to really know I'm insane. So I had to actually delete a video yesterday instead of posting it. This guy comes up and goes, these umbrellas are for shade, not to protect you from the rain. I have to pull the umbrellas down. I'm like, if you do that, I'm going to get completely soaked. You understand that? I don't care. Got to do it. And starts just aggressively taking the umbrellas down. And I wasn't the only one. Now people are getting completely soaked because this asshole has to have some kind of power trip.
He worked at Barnes and Noble?
No. It's that little park outside there. There's a little strip of land right outside Barnes and Noble.
That Bloomberg set up? Is that one of the ones in the middle of the lane that Bloomberg set up?
Probably. It has a few tables, a bunch of pigeons, and fucking umbrellas to make sure you don't get wet.
Who did a guy that works for who?
I guess he's a park guy or something. I don't know. I guess his whole job is that little area to make sure, he cleans up the fucking pigeon poop and make sure people get wet.
Who takes an umbrella down in the rain?
Yeah, and I'm like, are you kidding me? How about how about we wait? Because it was obviously this storm was, flying through. So I'm just motherfuckering him to his face. I almost pushed him down. I was enraged yesterday.
Yeah, that's irritating.
And other people were enraged. Like, seriously? Seriously, what good are you doing by taking these umbrellas down in the middle of a torrential, downpour? So then I'm out there in the middle of I'm just getting soaked. I'm like, really? This had to happen, right? For what reason? For what good reason? And he works for the city, obviously. So what good did he do for the people yesterday?
Why would they spend all that money and put umbrellas up, and when it rains, remove them?
Yeah, because everyone ran under them because, you're trying to get cover immediately. It's one of those fucking, storms that come out of nowhere, right? So people are under them fucking just waiting it out. And there are these heavy-duty fucking umbrellas. Nothing's going to happen to them. It's not flimsy umbrellas that are going to get destroyed by the rain.
It's amazing.
These umbrellas were completely handling the fucking water.
That's bureaucracy. That's what this country is for. It's just bureaucracy and red tape, and you don't know why you're doing things, but you do them. Someone told me I got to do it.
It's not even a somebody. This is a guy that got just a ton. This is we've talked about this a bunch of times. A guy that got just a little power through his job and thinks he's like this fucking world leader, I guess. He's protecting that little piece of land for who and for what reason? Sorry. I was out of my fucking mind, and I filmed the whole thing. And then I'm walking home. I'm like, I can't post this. I have to delete this video. I have to delete this. I was amazed what was coming out of my mouth. And I came close to pushing the guy down because now I'm just getting completely drenched.
Where did he take the umbrellas?
He just knocked them down.
He just made them fold in.
Yeah. One at a time. So, and then people, because, we were stranded. It was that bad of a rainstorm that people were moving from the umbrella that he was knocking down to the other ones. So, and then eventually he got to the last one where there was about 6 or 7 of us still, hanging in there because we didn't feel like getting wet. And then he knocked that one down. And now we're just all standing in the rain and we're all looking at him like, really? You had to do this?
If everybody would have just surrounded it and said, you're not doing this, you're not taking this umbrella down, he would have had no choice but to walk away. No, but that's what
confuses me because everyone else, and then I'm thinking, wow, I must be a complete lunatic because everyone else is like, oh, okay, they just accept the rules or accept what this guy's doing. I'm like, no, this is ridiculous what he's doing. Don't you understand? That's why there'll never be a revolution in this country.
No.
Because there's a bunch of lemmings that, there's a lot of shit that happens that doesn't make sense, but they just go along with it. I was the only guy yelling and screaming, like, seriously, this is ridiculous. You do realize that. And everyone else like, oh, well, I guess we got to, get wet now.
It's amazing how they accept it.
I couldn't rally anyone to yell at this guy like, stop. Your umbrella's going to be okay. So, someone was asking if it was windy. It wasn't windy at all. It was just rain coming in really, really fucking fast.
That's just a guy being a complete fuck.
And look, I could handle getting wet. It wasn't about that because I know people will now beat me up. I could get wet.
Getting wet stinks, though, if you don't have to.
But it wasn't about that. It was more that this guy has some kind of tiny little power and had to use it at that moment.
There's no reason.
So he'd rather protect umbrellas than human beings, I guess?
Again, somebody probably told him one time that's what you're supposed to do, and he just does it. And he probably secretly loves it.
Of course. Because you know what? I couldn't phase the guy. And, I was so enraged, I was thinking of getting fucking racist. Because I wanted to hurt him. And everything I was throwing at him, man, he was fucking ducking, and he didn't take any of them. So he must get yelled at a lot. It probably makes him even happier.
Anyone whose job is like that and they get yelled at a lot, then your job sucks.
Right.
If you're working with the people and your job is always getting you yelled at, then you just suck.
Right.
And what you do sucks and it's not important.
Maybe I should have brought the video in.
Absolutely.
Or at least the audio.
Do you still have it?
I
just didn't put it up?
I completely deleted it on the way home because I was out of my mind, and I'm watching it back going, you sound like a fucking mental patient.
No, you should have kept that.
I know I probably should have.
That's a good one.
But then I was just thinking, you know what? No, I'll bitch and scream about it on the radio, and that'll be it.
No, you were justified.
Fucking asshole. I'm still mad.
You know how happy he was to make a bunch of fucking Upper West Side white people stand there in the rain?
You should see how I walk around. I don't look like an Upper West. I look like I really needed to be under that umbrella.
Which Barnes & Noble do you mean? Is it on...
well, now we go real local. It's on Broadway in like 65, 66.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly.
There's a tiny little park out there outside the subway
right.
station.
Okay.
So you just kind of sit. There's tables and chairs and umbrellas. So.
Why don't you run into the bookstore?
I ran under the awning of Barnes & Noble. That's how the story ends, and waited out with a bunch of people. But I was completely soaked because even just running that, it couldn't have been more than 30 feet. I got completely soaked. That's how bad it was raining.
Did they take the awning down at Barnes & Noble? That would have been great.
Yeah, no kidding.
They started just taking things down everywhere you went in the city. They just take down the cover.
Yeah, fucking asshole. I will see him again, and now I'm going to make his life a living hell. I will see him again.
You should film him every day.
Well, that's what I'm going to do now. Now I'm going to just film him being an asshole, But the last time I filmed a park person being an asshole, YouTube yanked my fucking video when they were just, giving people tickets in Central Park for no reason.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, it was a very funny video. A fat lady was slurping up some kind of delicious fatty drink, and I said, that's why you're fat. And YouTube had a problem with that.
They leave bum fights up.
Yeah, no kidding. And guys getting
weird, man.
And guys getting hit by buses and stuff. But if you comment to a lady that's why you're fat because she's sucking down a high calorie drink, that YouTube had a problem with that.
But who at YouTube saw that? Considering what they do leave up, it's not a copyright infringement.
I don't know. Yeah. And I was asking some hard-hitting fucking questions. I was doing some journalism before that. And then I decided to make it hurt a little bit to this woman because she wouldn't answer any of my questions.
Yeah, she sucked.
That's what the video was about. And then a mere week or 2 weeks later, you got the guy in Seattle, the police officer, dealing with a couple people with punching and slapping going on. Why is that okay to leave up? But mine isn't.
Wouldn't you love to find one person who makes those decisions at YouTube?
I tried. Because I got connections at YouTube. I tried. But, you go into some mass email fucking system.
You can't just fucking call somebody. They suck.
No. And then they sort of get back to you where they just throw the rules at you. And then you have to read pages of rules to figure out which rule you might have broke. You can't get a human being to actually go, well, this is why it was yanked.
Facebook's the same way. It's like both of these. And again, I know that Facebook has 200 million people and they can't be taking all those calls.
Right.
But it's just this anonymous system. You can't get a real answer. Well, if you go online, it's like, I don't want to go online. Just walk me through it. It'll take me 2 minutes.
Yeah, I need an answer. Hire more people to give answers. You're obviously very successful. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You got to hire more people to explain some shit.
YouTube should absolutely give you an explanation as to why that was yanked or who yanked it, but there's no accountability.
No.
It's just somebody in an office who might have gotten one complaint. Someone might have complained a hater. That's me. You can't show me. I'll sue you. And then they pull it.
Oh no, man! This was completely acceptable. You know, I was asking some park workers why they were giving out bullshit tickets, because that's the one thing about living in New York City that drives me nuts. The people that just go around giving out bullshit tickets. You see it all the fucking time, and I don't know why I'm bothered by that, because it's not me usually. Although I've been hit over the years, you know.
It's irritating. It's irritating because they're small people in the sense of they're not. They want to be cops.
Right.
They want to have authority and power. They're like traffic, whatever they're called.
Yeah, I'm not talking NYPD. I mean, you know, they got to do what they got to do.
Right.
Although some of the delivery trucks, I think, although that's not really NYPD, even though those idiots are wearing the NYPD
Nah, they're not real
uniform,
NYPD.
They're not real fucking cops, you know, carrying guns and shit.
Kenny got stopped by one of those guys. Maybe he should tell the story, but it was so enraging. This little wannabe. He was not a cop.
Yeah.
He wants to be a cop. He's such a little person, and you can see he wants to have a real cop will a lot of times let you do something.
Yeah.
Go ahead, because he doesn't have to prove anything. He's a cop.
You could talk your way out of a speeding ticket easier than talking your way out of a parking ticket. That's ridiculous. Now, a lot of times, of course, the cops are going to give you the speeding ticket.
Yeah.
They're doing their jobs, whatever. You know, I'm not happy, but you know, they're doing their jobs. These parking people will not listen to shit. I've seen pregnant women with strollers running back to their car because their meter just literally ran out, begging and pleading, and the guy just doesn't even see them, just continues writing the ticket. Although they've made that easy, too, because now it's just scanning shit. So they only have to be at your car for seconds at this point now.
Jimmy Justice, that guy who would annoy them on video, was the greatest.
Rules.
He tortured them.
Yeah.
And they should be, because most of them are not nice. Most of them are not very competent. They're not qualified to do real police work.
Right.
They're just fucking ticket. You know what they are? They're like street sweepers. They're like little animals that go around and gobble up mistakes and spit it out for money for the city.
Yeah.
They're not doing a valuable service.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. It's just annoying people and making money for the city, because the city's fucked up their budget. So now they have to go out there and, you know, try to help out the city by giving out dumb, ridiculous tickets to people. So, but this guy with the umbrella yesterday, God, and I was so enraged I couldn't even film the video right. I was shooting the umbrella, the ground, because I was shaking. I'm like, you're really gonna, force us all out in the rain? For what reason? Give me a reason. And then when he said the umbrellas are for the sun, not rain. What?
It's like, what
are you talking about?
It's like they're trying to save money here in the city.
Right.
First of all, building those was ridiculous. Not the one
Those
you're
little
talking
parks?
about. The little parks, okay. I'm talking about the ones in the street.
Yeah.
And to have a guy whose job is to stand there like a twat.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I guess he was waiting to finally have something to do with his job, and I guess when he saw the rain, it was time for him to do his job.
So you got to pick up gum wrappers and rat shit. He
Right.
sweeps up dirt. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He probably had a giant garbage bag. And was he wearing orange? This guy usually wear orange. I don't know.
No.
Sure he worked for the park? He wasn't just a psychopath?
He could have been just a homeless guy, and that's his territory.
Yeah, he's just some bum. Some guy who doesn't like a bunch of people enjoying the fucking
Right.
protection of the umbrellas.
Very good. Let me say hi to Cassius in Brooklyn. What's up, Cassius?
Hello.
Hey, man.
Boys, how you doing?
Good,
Hello.
brother.
Yeah, I just totally know this rage you're talking about. This summer, went down to Rockaway Beach here, and obviously in the city, and unbeknownst to me, there's like, I hadn't been there to this beach in a few years. I'm like, all of a sudden I noticed there's like these Parks Department guys like standing literally on the sand right where the water's coming up, and they've got like books on them so they can give people tickets. And I got into a huge yelling match with one of them because there's a part of the beach where only surfers are allowed to go, but there's not a single sign posted, and like they wait until you go into the water, and then they start yelling at you, and
Yeah.
it's just so unbelievable. Like keeping you from standing underneath an umbrella for like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it just makes no sense whatsoever. And he was black, right? This guy.
Well, I really try not to go down that road, but yes, he was black.
Yeah, and like.
But I don't think it was a black thing. I think it was more of a. I see it. I see it. It doesn't matter what color you are. People get these jobs with a tiny bit of power, and they fucking just get huge. They get power hungry over the most ridiculous thing. I mean, I got a ticket once because I rode my bike on a pier where Jimmy and I live. I mean, somehow I guess the city came up with this fucking law. You ride your bike on a pier, you get a ticket. Right. It's not bothering anybody. These piers that I'm talking about are I don't know how wide across. It's plenty of room for people walking, people with strollers, people on bikes, rollerblading. It's a huge, wide pier. But I guess the city decided, well, here's another way to make money. You know, every time you see a guy on his bike, and usually no one's racing up and down the pier, you know, you're kind of just on your bike, maybe going the speed of foot traffic. Seriously. It's easier just to kind of stay on your bike instead of get off it and walk it. And I watch these guys give tickets all day long because the little sign they post is kind of out of the way. You got to kind of be looking for it. And then and I watch people day after day try to explain, like, well, I didn't see the sign. And then they're just there with their pad angrily writing tickets. Like, what job is that? What are they protecting?
Yeah,
do you know,
not be willing to fucking give people a warning, you know, like
right. Yeah, because that's what you see is people begging, like,
this first time and don't do it again. You know, that's like normal. That's human.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, I didn't know. Now I know," and they're like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you. Here's your ticket." The instructions are on the back.
Do you know that one of the times I wanted to commit a homicide the most, it was so needless. And you're right, it's not a white-black thing. This guy was a white guy, and this was when I went to the Metal. It's when Sabbath got back together in '99, and when me and Florentine went to Sabbath, and after the show, they fired these like cannons, or these streamers came down from the ceiling that just said Black Sabbath on them. They were very small little streamers, maybe 4 inches long and maybe a half-inch high, and there was, you know, probably 1 million of them that fell out of the ceiling. And they would rain on the audience. So I was just picking a couple of these teeny little slips of paper up, and a guy comes over and he goes, hey, you can't, you got to put them back. And I'm like, you're joking, right? He goes, no, I'm not joking. You're not supposed to take them with you. And he was making an issue. And now I would take it. Like, it's 10 years later, I would tell him you're out of your fucking mind.
Right.
But then I was like, oh, all right. What am I?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're little teeny streamers, you fuck.
Yeah.
It's just a guy who wanted to say no. A lot of these guys, their problem is life tells them no.
Right.
Their wives don't fuck them. Women don't fuck them. And if they're big fat women, you know, look at these people. They're big fatsos. Everything is saying no to them.
Yeah. People that have real power know how to use it in general. But it's these jobs that give them just a tiny bit of power. I don't get it.
Me and Kenny
They
were
become
going
Napoleon or something.
We were going to the Newark airport, and a lot of times there's traffic at the Lincoln. Well, Kenny has a badge, and maybe he'll shoot up past some of the traffic and make the left where the traffic cops won't let you make the left. Traffic agents, not traffic cops.
Right.
And they always, if you hold up a badge, always let you go.
They don't even question it.
No. This one little Filipino guy still tried to wave Kenny on. Like, go straight, even though he held up a badge. You know, Kenny's not going to make the left, and he made the left anyway. And the guy came over and started yelling at him, you, pull over, pull over. I want to see your ID card. And Kenny's like, well, why can't I show it to you right here? He's like, but everybody saw you disrespect me. He was complaining about being it's like, what are you fucking you have that uniform on and you're trying to sound like a fucking a hip-hop video from the early 90s, you asshole.
Right.
A guy, like, the fact is he was disrespecting the badge. The nerve of this little piece of shit.
Yeah.
To tell a guy showing him a badge to keep. What are you doing?
Unbelievable.
Like, if a guy has a badge, that means he has at least at one point carried a gun and was a real cop or is a real.
Right.
Who the fuck are you?
Right. Don't even question it. Just assume, you know, he's doing the right thing and fucking let him go.
Little twat. He probably didn't make the height requirements in the police test, little fella.
Probably didn't even try. Half these people don't even try for the real job.
He had braces, too. He had adult braces, which was great. Which was great. He says, you know, he has a little cock. He's a small man. He has a little cock.
Little flea cock.
A little cock.
A little mosquito cock.
Little fucked up teeth.
Little
he wants
cock.
respect. He wants women to respect him. And life has just laughed at him.
Yeah.
And he just didn't like the fact that he waved Kenny on, and Kenny, Kenny isn't not going to fucking listen to that.
I don't care.
Unless it was a real cop, then he would listen.
Let's say hi to Sean in Virginia. Sean.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Hey, one time I was flying into Midway from LAX. I figured I'd stop and get fucking one of these cappuccinos from Starbucks. I never had one. Well, I had a sip and it tasted like ass. So I went down the escalator and I stopped by this coffee shop, put some sugar and creamer in it, try to make it taste less ass-like. So I'm mixing it all up, and the dude who works there comes up to me. He's like, hey, if you're going to use our condiments, you could at least buy my coffee. And there's like these 8 other people around me, and I was like, dude, if I give you a fucking quarter, will you shut up and leave me alone? And like, he just looked at me like I just shit in his face, and everyone started laughing at him. Dude, it was one of the funniest moments of my life.
Yeah, right on. Good for you, man.
I don't know if I'd...
If I could have been there with you, dude, in a minute, I would have been like, get the fuck away from here. What is wrong with you?
I couldn't rally anyone. I'm like, really? You're just going to allow this asshole to have a power trip in the middle of a torrential downpour, and we're all going to get soaked, and you're all... I'm looking around like, really? You're all going to just deal with, go with this?
Yeah, I mean...
Not one of you are going to question this asshole for doing this?
And you nailed it on the head. You said that's why there'll never be a revolution in this country. A bunch of fucking lemmings. They just want to sit there and smile and do, oh, yes, I'll do what I'm told.
They just, okay. I actually heard a guy, we're under the umbrella, right? So you got a picture. There's like 5 or 6 umbrellas, and he's the one, I was at the one on the, all the way at the one end, and I ran. I figured, like, all right, I'm going to skip the other umbrellas because he's going for those. And if I just keep getting, shut out and pushed out of an umbrella, I really will strangle this guy. So I decided to go to the last umbrella. I'm like, at least that'll give me some fucking time, and maybe the stupid rain will stop. And I actually heard one guy go, well, I guess we're next. He goes, I guess we're next because...
Keep walking or I'm going to punch you in the throat.
Yeah, because this asshole is taking down the umbrella right next to us, and then all this guy can muster up is, I guess we're next. And I'm like, really? How about we stand our fucking ground?
Sometimes in life... You go right ahead, sir. Good. All right, go ahead. What happened?
Never be ashamed you do not have rage issues. There's nothing wrong with that. That is how people...
I don't know. I've punched fucking token boots. I have an issue that I'm working on, though. Thank you, Sean. Jimmy, what were you saying?
There's times in life where it's like, I know physical violence is wrong, but sometimes a right hook or a jab is the answer.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, and this is why I'm not... God gives us what we can handle, as they say. I'm a funny guy. I'm not a big dude.
Right.
If I was built like Liddell or Tito or anything, I know I'd be in prison. I would love to be that big for a week, just to knock that guy out in front of everybody.
I came close yesterday. I really did. I felt myself actually come out of my own body because I was just that enraged. I'm like, you're gonna allow people just to get soaked because you're an asshole, really? Because you are on some power trip. And someone's saying they were probably worried that, you guys are going to get hit by lightning. No, that's not what the guy said.
He didn't care.
He didn't care. He said the umbrellas are for fucking sun, not rain. He actually said that.
No one is rooting for you to not get hit by lightning while they go over and handle the metal object.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy's not trying to protect these Upper West Siders. He was happy to tell you, get out.
Right.
It was him striking back at life. Not to oversimplify it, but that's what it is.
Well, he's in my neighborhood. Now he's going to get a nice video made.
People are just shit.
Maybe a montage of him just picking his nose over and over again. I'll do something.
You should just film him doing nothing. Or film him, so you took the umbrella down, and see if he'll give you an explanation on camera. They never do. I don't know why people are so terrified of a camera. Like it's the fucking business end of a shotgun. Mm-hmm. But if you hold a camera up to someone and say, why did you do that? An honest man would go, look, I didn't want to do it, but it's my job. I had to because we've had umbrellas destroyed. Guaranteed, like, oh, no, don't film me.
Right.
No, don't film. Why?
Right.
Why?
Charlie in Georgia. Charlie.
Charlie.
What's up, Charlie?
What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, just going to let y'all know, a few years back, me and my wife, she's my girl.
My wife and I.
Yes,
Sorry.
My wife and I. High Five Buys Amphitheater. Went to the Aerosmith Kiss concert. Been raining a little bit all day. Going in, your usual savages, big fat lady sitting there. They give her a badge, give her a little hat, sitting there tearing tickets. That's all she really does for a living. We get in there with umbrellas. She's like, you can't take those in. I'm like, it's about to storm. The bottom's about to drop out. She's stopping everybody. The same thing, like it happened to y'all. They're just taking the umbrellas from everybody, and they're like, well, okay, here you go. Here's our tarps. I was like, look, it's about to fall. The bottom's about to fall out on these people. And they're like, doesn't matter. I opened it up. I was like, there's nothing in it. We're not trying to hide anything. We're just trying to, keep dry. Anyway, make a long story short, missed the whole damn concert just because we got rained out. Had to buy a trash bag from one of the vendors for like $20 just to shut my wife up.
Wait, you couldn't, hold on. You had a tarp that you brought with you and they wouldn't let you use it?
No, they wouldn't let you in with it. Just because just this power trip. They won't let you bring in umbrellas. They won't let you bring in anything.
How about, was this 2003 when Kiss and Aerosmith toured together?
Yep, 2003.
That's when I got my photo with Kiss. Not that's a bit of a side story. I just wanted to make it about me, and I didn't know exactly how I could. It
would have been a great concert. We saw a little bit of it, but we just pretty much had to stick behind the awnings. I mean,
it was the original Kiss without Ace, though. Unfortunately, Ace was not in that tour. I thought Aerosmith had balls to follow Kiss. I remember respecting Aerosmith for that. I'm like, why would you go on after Kiss?
Yeah,
Kiss opened that tour.
That's a little weird.
Why?
Well, what year?
2003.
Yeah.
But still, to follow that fucking,
2003, though? Aerosmith at that point. They've had a couple of hits.
No, they have. And Kiss was, I guess hadn't had a hit in a little while. But
yeah.
Just to follow those.
Here's an instant feedback. You guys should listen to yourselves bitching and whining because you can't break the rules. Those are the type of people I can't live among. You fucking asshole. You just accept every rule they give you? Really? What is wrong with you? Half the rules are bullshit in this country.
But that's not even bitching about the rules. I didn't say we should be able to drive 100, and Ope didn't say, look, what is it with these pigs telling me I can't take merchandise out of a store?
Right.
These are pointless little dictations by people who are enjoying dictating to you. That's all it is. It's fraudulent.
You just want somebody to be reasonable sometimes.
Right.
That's all. Just be reasonable, you asshole. Obviously, you're fucking going to make a few people miserable here because you're being a dick. How about you be reasonable?
Down by the Comedy Cellar, there's one block where you can park up to a certain time. And everyone parks there. I park there if I have an early spot because I can get out before 11. But you can't park there all night. I've literally watched them at 11:02 towing somebody. It's like, man, what are you? And they'll sit there and wait.
Yeah.
At 5:11, it's like you're waiting for just a chance to fuck somebody else.
Yeah. You're not just coming upon it. You're waiting.
Yeah.
Like a serial killer, you fucking lunatic.
That's what it is with the street cleaning rule people. They come by and 2 minutes after the time limit's up, they're ticketing people and towing people.
They're enjoying it.
Or I've had a lot of times when I was living in Brooklyn, the front of my bumper would be, like, because it's impossible to find parking. The front of the bumper is just into the crosswalk. Not even in the crosswalk, like on the paint strip that is painting the crosswalk. Yeah. Not interfering with it whatsoever. And there's a ticket. It's like, there you go. Just throw someone a bone once.
Again, there are people who don't feel like they get any breaks, and they don't understand what to do with. It's probably the first time any of them have had a say at anything.
Yeah.
No one listens to them in their lives. They suggest something, their wives go, no. They're big fat ladies. They don't have boyfriends, or if they do, it's a miserable relationship. They know he's fucking around. This is the first time they've ever been able to say, this is how it's going to be, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's say hi to Chris in Ohio. Chris.
What's up, man?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, just to ask you, when you were on the pier with the bicycle, what's to keep you from saying just fuck off and ride away? Because it's not like many people carry their ID and shit, so what's the accountability?
Well, that's a very good question, and I learned the hard way, because the first time they stopped me when I was on my bike on the pier, I just took their bullshit. And then I talked to a bunch of my NYPD friends, and they're like, you don't have to fucking listen to those guys.
They're nobody.
Make them fucking chase you or make them get a real cop. So now I kind of toy with those fuckers, because there's a few areas you're not supposed to be on your bike, and I ride right by them, and they're yelling and screaming, and they yell, stop, 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 and I just keep fucking going now.
What are they going to do?
Right. But I took it the first time. I'm embarrassed to say I took it the first time because I just didn't know. But now I do know.
Shame on you.
And now I kind of fuck with them when I feel like it, just a little bit.
But do you understand that by you riding away, that's what most people do, and that's what their day is. Stop!
Yeah.
Stop now.
Yeah.
So the first one that stops, they're like, oh, we got a first timer.
Right.
Here's a ticket.
Right.
Most people probably don't get the tickets.
Well, now they decided that you can't ride your bike down the ramp that leads to the bike path and the piers where we live. And there's a guy, a fat slob of a guy. His whole job now, I forgot about this part. He stands at the bottom of the ramp with his pad because there's a tiny little sign at the top. And most people, they're already starting their bike ride, so they're kind of on their bike, and they're just kind of rolling down this ramp really slowly. They're not doing a Lance Armstrong or anything.
Right.
And the guy is just waiting at the bottom of the ramp. Really?
Throw his testicle at him.
Yeah, exactly. His half-empty sack.
Right.
Here, squeeze this.
Your stupid day is done, and now you want to just kind of mellow out on your bike or do something recreational, and there's an asshole making sure that's a problem as well.
Unbelievable.
People like to fuck with other people.
It's
They really do.
unbelievable.
It's human nature. I really think it is.
I'm going to sit out and just film that fucking fat fuck.
You should.
Yeah, you'll laugh.
See how
Like,
many people
really,
he
this is
gets.
your job?
Do like a quick montage of how many people he fucking nails like
He
that.
will, every time I go down there, he's got somebody pulled over.
Pulled over, yeah.
They're off their bike trying to explain themselves. Because I guess it was a safety issue.
There are people who wouldn't talk to him in real life. A lot of them are probably lawyers and bankers. And in their daily lives, they would look at that fucko and go, just get out of my office.
Fuck off.
I charge $400 an hour, pig. Get out.
Right.
But in that world, he's, might I say, king shite.